published the book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, in the year 1900, after a number of rather unsuccessful careers. The book quickly became an American favorite, really a classic, and the film that came out then in 1939, The Wizard of Oz, is the movie that has been seen by more people more times than any other movie. If you are too young, or if you haven't lived in the United States long enough to have grown up with Judy Garland and her role of Dorothy from Kansas, there is a little summary of the story in your bulletin insert. The story takes us on a quest to get to the Emerald City, which was inspired by the Chicago World's Fair. And on the journey, the need is to find what we think we're missing in life, and ultimately to make it back home again. On the yellow brick road, here comes Dorothy.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. We must be over the rainbow. And I have these ruby slippers that the good witch of the north, Glinda, gave me. And she said, if we just follow the yellow brick road, we'll come to the Emerald City, where, oh, I hope the Wizard of Oz can show us how to get back to Kansas. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Now which way do we go?
Pardon me, but that way is very nice.
Who said that? Don't be silly, Toto. Scarecrows can't talk.
That way is pretty good, too.
Now that's funny. Wasn't he pointing the other direction before?
And of course, people do go both ways.
Why, you did say something, didn't you? Are you doing that on purpose, or can't you make up your mind?
Well, that's the problem, really. I can't make up my mind. I don't have a brain, only straw.
How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?
I don't know. But there are a lot of people without any brains that do an awful lot of talking, you know. I'm not very bright, obviously, but maybe if you bent this nail in the back, I could slip off of here.
Oh!
Did I scare you?
No, I was afraid you hurt yourself.
That's the problem, really. I can't even scare a crow. They come from miles around just to eat in my field. I'm a failure. It's all because I don't have a brain.
We're on our way to the Emerald City to see the Wizard of Oz, to try to find our way to get back to Kansas. Maybe the wizard could give you a brain.
Will you take me with you?
To Oz.
To Oz.
So off they go to find the Scarecrow a brain. And the Scarecrow can't understand why Dorothy wants to leave the beautiful rainbow country of Oz and go dry, gray place she calls Kansas. But Dorothy says that's because you have no brains. No matter how dreary and gray our homes are, we people of flesh and blood would rather live there than in any other country, be it ever so beautiful. There's no place like home. There's wisdom in that line, isn't there? There's no place like home. Dorothy has an ability to remember the past and discern what's best for the future. She's a child, and this is a fairy tale, but Dorothy exercises, nevertheless, some solid wisdom. Certainly more than the scarecrow, who doesn't even have a brain. Here at St. John's, we also remember the past and try to discern what's best for the future. Sometimes we play the scarecrow game and complain, if I only had a brain. It goes like this. If we only had more children here at St. John's. Or if we only had more young men. I've heard that one. If we only had a fellowship hall. If we only had one big giver. These are statements of wishful thinking. They tend to go along with remembering back to when we were children and Sunday school was booming and the MYF was big time and young families were flocking to church. In American society in those days, it was socially expected that you would belong to a church. There certainly wasn't soccer on Sunday. Nobody even played soccer in the United States till maybe the 80s. Kids at least. People memorized Bible verses and creeds, and they all knew the same hymns. Oh, if only we were back in the good old days. But if our memory is good, not everything about the past was rosy. Like Dorothy describing Kansas as dreary and gray, especially on the day of the twister that sent her spinning, we know that much of our past was really not perfect. There were lean years even here at St. John's. People first met in a park and had to work hard to purchase a first parsonage and then to build this church. There were times when St. John's had to pass the plate to pay the utilities. And in the spring of 2009, the church made the tough decision to reduce the pastor's salary to 3/4 time. I think it was a good decision, because now, a year and a half later, we're paying our apportionments, the money that goes to the Greater United Methodist Church, whereas in the previous year, we did not. This is all.